Hello. It's my first long form YouTube video. First YouTube video ever, really. We're going to talk about Spider-Man. We're going to talk about some leaks for Spider-Man 2 from Twitch Online. The Reddits have been posted. We're going to talk about all of that. We're going to talk about mainly my excitement for the game, other stuff. I'm going to talk about some. Really, this is going to be a multi-part video. So they'll have multiple things, talking about multiple things, my opinions on them, really all of that, and some more. So if you like this, drop a like. If you don't, I don't really care. Don't leave hateful comments. I will. Yeah. Okay. So first, we're going to talk about Batman 2. So the Batman 2 so far has been rumored that Hush is going to be the main big bad of this movie, which I don't hate the fact it'll be Hush. I do like the idea of it being the more classic version of Clayface more than Hush, but I mean, at least it's not the Joker. I was hoping it wouldn't be the Joker. Now, there's one reason why I wouldn't want it to be the Joker. Well, first, Christopher Nolan already did it. So it wouldn't make sense to have Joker to be, oh, he's got a quick cameo in the first film, so he's going to be the main villain in the second film. That's literally what Nolan did. That's already been done. So that being done again wouldn't make any sense. Second is, well, I love the Joker. He's probably one of my favorite all-time villains. Heath Ledger's Joker is awesome. Jared Leto's is Joaquin Phoenix was good though, and Mark Hamill was the best Joker. At least my opinion, that's my statements. But first of all, it being Barry Keoghan, who is in the Eternals, looks like my friend Jonathan. No one else agrees with me on that statement, but yeah. But, so he is probably one of my favorite up-and-coming actors. He's really good. I haven't watched Dunkirk yet. I'm getting around to it. I'm trying to go through all the Nolan films right now. But, okay, so, moving on from that, Joker being the second villain, titular villain of the new movie, yada, 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 I don't think it would go that well with fans, because they'll be like, but The Dark Knight did Joker. That was the second one of the Nolan trilogy. But, I mean, it's not his fault. Mr. Freeze would be also a really cool villain to do if you do it properly. Don't Arnold Schwarzenegger, where he got $2 million just to play the role in Batman and Robin. $2 million. You know what? The rest of them got paid probably like $70K. Get $2 million of his money from playing Mr. Freeze. $2 million. Let's think it. He got paid more than anybody else in that cast. And that cast had Batman, Batgirl, well, a really bad Batgirl, Robin. Oh, really it's Nightwing, but I mean, you're not going to talk about it. And then you also had Bane and Poison Ivy. It's just, Mr. Freeze is a really cool character, and Sub-Zero, the movie, is a phenomenal film. But, I mean, Mr. Freeze being the villain of the second movie, everyone going full engines, going like, this is going to be the main villain, guys. This is him. It's Mr. Freeze. Yes! Yay! No, of course not. The dude said it would be fun to write him. Okay? Mr. Freeze is probably not going to show up in the Batman universe. We're going to call it We're going to call it the Patterverse, because it's Robert Pattinson. So it's the Pattinson-verse. So it's the Pattinverse. So, in the Pattinverse, it's going to be more grounded. It's going to seem more mystical and less it's less grounded than the Dark Knight trilogy, but it's going to be less grounded then it's going to be less grounded than that, but it's going to be way more grounded than what Snyder was doing. Not Nolan. Christopher Nolan was the king of the grounded Batman universe. And that's why everybody assumes Batman has to be a grounded superhero. His main villain is a man that got thrown in a vat of acid. His face got scarred. And he goes around killing people by making them laugh to death. Yeah, he's totally not like this essential. I mean, his best friend's a guy from space, but he's just a normal human, guys. Bruce Wayne has superpowers. It's not confirmed in the comics, but he obviously does. There's no way a single human can take on Darkseid by pure brain wit and guessing alone. Yeah, okay, you can be a master tactician and all of that. The closest person to actual Batman is probably Tate, but he's not going to be defeating Darkseid anytime soon. He's so way overpowered. You can't beat Darkseid just from, you stole my son's lifeless body. I must resurrect him, so I will go your way. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Okay? It doesn't make sense. I'm sorry. It don't make sense. But moving on, I've gone off on a tangent. I'm sorry. Where's the hoodie? Yeah, it's in my closet. So, henceforth, it makes sense that they would do a more grounded character. Okay, I like the route they're going with it's the man who laughs, not Joker. It makes sense. He became insane because of his illness, people making fun of him. That makes sense. That Joker is going to be awesome if he even becomes a main villain of the movies. And you're probably like, wait, what? Well, they're making an Arkham TV show. And he'll probably be in it. I can guarantee Barry Keoghan will end up in that show. Either that one or he'll make a small cameo in Penguin. It's one or the other. So him being in it as a main villain, he's more likely to have a main role in the Arkham show than he is to actually get a role in a Batman movie. He'll get more of a continuation, a more expansive role that he got probably in the Batman 1 with the deleted scene. Which honestly, the deleted scene is so cool. It took forever for people to find it. Honestly, I was actually one of the people who actually went looking for it, which I find really cool. And that is how you do media. So, moving on. Now, I don't hate the Hush comics. I have heard recently that they took. So, if you don't know, Hush is really. So, it's Tom Elliott, right? And one of his relatives got killed during the events of the backstory in The Batman, which is why the words Hush show up in that movie. But, they had to confirm that's not Thomas Elliott. It's not who he is. He's still alive if we wanted to do Hush, right? So, then doing that makes it so much better. But a lot of the traits of Hush got passed on to the Riddler, similar to the Batman Hush animated movie, which changed the ending of the movie, whereas in the normal comics, it was Riddler pulled the screens from behind jail, in the jail cell, and had Thomas Elliott do all the killing. Thomas Elliott found out who Batman was after Riddler, who had cancer and then came back to life from the Lazarus pit, learned who Batman was, and they told Hush, and that's how it happened. So and then Hush and Riddler kind of planned. I say planned. Really, it was Joker just kind of telling Hush what to do. I mean Riddler, not Joker. Riddler. Really, it was Riddler telling Hush really what to do. He was essentially just like manipulating, like, I think you should do this. When, like, leading him to do something slightly different but similar to get his goals. So, like, it just showed Riddler as a master manipulator. It's more akin, well, okay, I don't really like the comic because it did two things. One, it brought Jason Todd back for some reason. And the animated movie just sucked. Like, honestly, it's probably the worst of the DCAMU. The universes are getting confused. Okay, but continuing on, in the anime movie, instead of doing the Thomas Elliot thing, Thomas Elliot is in the movie. He's just not Hush. It makes you lead to believe, based off the comics, that it's Thomas Elliot. In reality, it's actually Riddler. Somehow Riddler's in two places at once. I never understood that part of the movie. Honestly, that's probably why the comic is so much better, because you actually have Riddler in prison, and it's not like this like retcon, like, oh, it was actually Clayface. They're pulling like Arkham City crap on you in the movie, but making Hush Riddler defeats the point of it being Riddler, right? It's already Riddler. He doesn't need a second alias. He's not Hawk. If you don't know, Hawk in the comics of Hawk and Dove went through like 3 aliases, because he had Hawk, and then he had a anti-hero, and then he had a villain name when he was the villain of Crisis in Time. So like, he didn't need a situation where they changed names. It's not a Robin situation, and it's somebody Hawk situation. They're not changing pseudonyms. It's the same character, right? So making it Hush doesn't make sense, because you want it to. So the movie makes you like, oh, you read the comics, didn't you? You know it's Thomas Elliot, right? So we're going to change it up a bit. It's Riddler. It underlines the tension, right? Like, in the comics, Batman gets saved by Thomas Elliot, and it's realized because just Thomas Elliot doesn't want to kill Batman. He wants to be Batman. He wants to be Bruce Wayne. So he couldn't kill him. But in the movie, he just saves him just to save him. And it's not like, there's not a reason. And it leads you to believe there's a reason, but there's no reason. Like I said, they bring back Jason Todd, who's apparently Clayface, but then it gets retconned into being Jason Todd again. They just switched out for Clayface at the last minute. It doesn't make sense. Like, just say it was a after. So like, yes, okay, Jason Todd, that was Clayface masquerading as Jason Todd, right? And then you just have Jason Todd just wake up a few minutes after that if you want him to be like, it's just like during the time is Final Crisis. So like Superboy's going pow, pow, to the fabric of reality, he's punching, boom, boom, bam, onomatopoeia, boom, 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 breaking the fabric of reality, right? Fixing parts of it by bringing people back to life and stuff like that. But having it be like, oh, this is Jason Todd. Now it's Clayface. And it wasn't Clayface the whole time, apparently, because Jason Todd escaped while he had Clayface. See, that doesn't make sense. That's one reason I don't like the comics. One good thing I like about the movie is that they did not have that. That was not an element they had in the movie. But you also don't have Robin. Robin's not in it at all, even though, like, Dick and Damian are, like, the main 2 characters of the universe. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Okay, but so, with that being said, in the Batman, they did the same thing, right? Turning Hush into Riddler. Now, obviously, in the universe, this isn't final Riddler. This is pre-Riddler. Like, this is Riddler becoming Riddler. Like, this is the original suit. He's not wearing the suit and tie. He's not comfortable with his face being shown. Not until after the events of the movie, right? After the events of the movie, if we ever see Riddler again, he probably won't be wearing his Zodiac Killer getup. He'll be wearing maybe he'll be wearing like a lime green suit with the purple shirt on under it, and that'll be, or like a dark green suit, a black hat, and that'll be his Riddler getup for this grounded universe. And once again, this is also not the final version of Batman. This is the second year of Batman, so like his suit's more tactical. He's more dangerous. If you don't even remember, in OG, in Golden Age comics, when Batman first showed up, he used guns. Then he enacted his no-kill rule for a long time, up until the 70s, and then when universes split. During the Silver Age, right? So this is essentially that situation. He's got the no-kill rule, right? Maybe. We actually don't know if he has the no-kill rule right now. We know he doesn't like to. We know that much. But there's nothing to say he hasn't or does. There's a difference between wanting to kill and killing. Wanting to kill means more of Punisher situation. Or Deadpool, really killing just to kill. Batman seems to be, so far in this Matt Reeves universe, is the killing one, which is where he just happens to kill them. It's not like anything personal. It's not just because he can, like Deadpool and Punisher and Wolverine. They're not killing. He's not killing just to kill. He's killing either by accident or just happenstance. Like he could just be killed the guy, just shocked him to death. That's really how it's working so far that I could tell. Like, once again, this is the second year Batman. First year Batman used guns, right? Second year Batman did not. So it could be the same situation here. Once again, this is second year Batman. When Batman Part 2 comes out, it'll probably be either a third to a fourth year Batman. Or it could be a later 2-year Batman. But it's probably not. Because the events of the Batman end, I think, like the first few days of November. I think it ends ends maybe a week after the events of the main story. So sometime in early November, probably I think maybe the 10th to the 7th. Now the year is unconfirmed, so we don't know exactly how the days will work. But all we know is that the movie, like the final shot of him, like with the cities like flooded and stuff, and he's like kind of standing up with smolder on his skin and ash on his suit. All we know is that's on Halloween, or at least a few days after. So the movie probably ends on November 4th, because the first scene we get is on October 31st, right? Second year Batman, set during November. It's like during the first. It's during like a week. It takes over the course of only a few days. It's not a very long timeline. It's not like, oh, it's over a few months. It's over a few days. Like, it's not that long of a timeline. It's a long movie, not long of a timeline. So you don't have a lot to go off of. But the movie probably ends somewhere during November, early November, probably sometime before the 20th. Would be my best guess. I don't think it would be after that, because then it would probably mean that definitely the Part 2 will be set during his third year. But you never know. It could be ending up being his fourth year that we actually see the Batman Part 2 will probably be either a late third year or a fourth year Batman. One or the other, right? This movie came out last year, and the movie probably doesn't come out to 2025. So, and it's the end of 2023, and the strike just got over, so I don't even know if the script's written yet. It's probably not. I mean, I haven't even finished my own scripts. So. Okay, now, we're going to talk about Spider-Man 2. Now, Spider-Man 2, I have read leaks on Reddit, and I'm stopping now. I want some surprises left for me. I'm not going to spoil anything major. It's just stuff I'm going to assume you probably know. So, obviously, at a point in the game, now, spoilers, okay? This will not take long. So, at 21 minutes and 5 seconds, skip forward now. Okay, so, at this point, Venom is known to be playable. You only play him for one mission, and you kill Kraven, right? So what does this mean? This could end up being that, oh, you get a Venom game. No, we don't get a Venom game. Do we get a very, DLC Miles Morales game? Do we get, I don't know. That hasn't been confirmed yet. So, now, with the single minute remaining, and it started now. Okay, so since you have skipped that point, now we're gonna go off Spider-Man 2. I don't really want to talk about it all that much. I'm really hyped. I can't wait to play the game. I know the story's gonna be fantastic. I'll probably love every second of it. It'll probably be my new favorite game. Which my current favorite game is Uncharted 4. If you don't know, Uncharted 4, it's got probably some of the best gameplay I've ever seen. And the fights are awesome, and so are the set pieces. So that's my favorite game right now. But after Spider-Man 2, that will probably end up being my favorite game. And I hope it wins Game of the Year. I haven't been any games I've been like, that's a really fun game. It's probably my favorite game of the year. So far, it's gonna be Spider-Man 2. I can't say any more. It's going to be Spider-Man 2. There's no option. It's Spider-Man 2. Okay, so moving on, we're going to touch on what we want to touch on. I don't know. There's not much else to talk about. Well, I just watched the Haunted Mansion 2023 movie. I was not a giant fan of it. It was okay. It's not a bad movie. I didn't hate it. And the cast is really cool. But there's just some stuff about it I just didn't like. It was how many cameos from the ride can we get? First you have the chairs moving around, and one of the chairs even looking like the ride chairs. That's number one. Then you have the ball dancing scene at the end of the movie, and you have the head. But I was looking at reviews. Apparently, audience loved this movie. It has an 84% audience scores and a 23 on critics. But in the original, has a 13 critically and a 37, 34 somewhere. It's in the 30s for audience scores. I like that Haunted Mansion movie, that Eddie Murphy one. I think it's super funny. It's got a good story. Is it the best movie ever? No, but is it a good movie? Yes, it is a really good movie. It's got a really stupid premise, and it's not really a haunted mansion. That's why it's not called Haunted Mansion. It's called The Haunted Mansion. There's a difference. But I honestly think it's a really good movie. But the Owen Wilson one, it's we have the dancing scene, we have the chairs, we have the paintings that go down, we have the never-ending corridor, right? We have the people that had the eating, and then you have all the ghouls flying out of the caves, and then you have the Mount Leoto and the crystal ball with that floating head thing. Like, okay. It's just like it's essentially if Jungle Cruise didn't know what it was doing. Like, it felt like, you know what? Okay, we have this ride. It's got a movie. It's not a really good movie. So, what are we gonna do? We're gonna retry making it. Already, no one really liked this property. If the first movie didn't do good, and I hated every second of the Muppets one, and I love the Muppets. Muppets in Space is awesome. But I mean, you don't need that many references. Like, okay, Jungle Cruise is a good movie because it's Dwayne The Rock Johnson, Emily Blunt. That's all you need. It's The Rock. It's The freaking Rock. You can't beat it. It's The Rock. Except the Black Adam. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna check out. This has been 26 minutes of Jack. And now, I bid you adieu.